Brothers and sisters, have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? For those of you who haven't, it's a theory of space-time, where if someone were to go back in time, the littlest and most insignificant of changes could have massive impacts on what we conceive of the present. For example, the reason it got its name is if a butterfly was placed back in time, the flap of its wings could move a small puff of air, which could lead to a chain reaction causing winds and new weather patterns and hurricanes that never existed, leading to new ecosystems, and the whole face of the earth could be changed. In a similar way, Jesus was interjected into time as one single cell, the smallest and most dependent of things. Jesus, as a little boy, saved the world. As a single cell, Jesus changed everything. So much of my life I've thought of the power of the cross and the King of Christ in his mighty deeds after his baptism, but that single cell changed the world. Today, as we hear about John Bosco and we remember his works amongst children, there's an interesting aspect of his life that I think can somewhat be taken for granted. His vocation came when he was 9 years old. He was called as a child specifically to evangelize children. And in the same way, Christ came as a child to evangelize God's children. It's not in the power of having a doctorate in ministry or a theological masterpiece that God changes the world. It's not through our adult worries and our adult self-dependence. It's on the dependence of that joyful trust that only children have. That joyful obedience in saying, my Father's got me. Just me playing in the dirt, making mud pies. That brings him joy and that saves the world. It's in the power of the small, the power of the humble, that God manifests his greatness, in that weakness, in that inability. So today, as we go about our normal routine, our boring assignments, our reading alone in our rooms, our just trust that somehow whoever made the decision that we had to go to this class today and read this ridiculous number of pages that seem like they have no effect on anything in the entire world. And when we go about our day and we realize, well, I'm not living the dream the world says that I need to be this great hero. God saved the world as a child. God saved the world the moment he stepped in among us, and in every moment of our lives, especially the smallest. We let him change it through us.
Amen.